we're trying to go for is how kind of Black Lives Matter movement intersects with environmental justice. It seems like a lot of the two movements have a lot of similar grounds. So we'd like to kind of hear your thoughts about it. And one of our first questions is, what does environmental justice mean to you? A lot of people have different ways of defining it, and it's interesting to hear how people hear this term environmental justice.
Well, when you hear the word justice, the only thing I could think of is just. And as I have been talking with the pastor, my family, and their teaching and all, it always say the word just in the Bible is truthful, and it's not biased. But when you start adding all this stuff and adding what some people feel about themselves, it just goes whack. It goes, to a total different story. So justice itself speaks for itself. That's based on learning.
What does Black Lives Matter mean to you? We've seen with everything that's going on currently today, it'd be nice to hear your views on it.
Well, Black Lives Matter is I look at them as being an organization that all of us are part of, and it is time to actually speak out and stand up to the discrimination and the racism. They're words, but they have a lot of meaning when it shouldn't have to be to this point. We all bleed the same. We all breathe the same. It's just that, some of us are not treated the same. And that is a way of getting that out there, that we do matter.
How did you get into the environmental justice movement and or even the Black Lives Matter movement?
Well, it's sort of, before all this come about, we was in the movement. It just did not have a name. This is sort of like an environmental injustice on our part, that is the fight is for the same reason, but it just doesn't have the name. I've been involved for quite a while now, a whole lot longer than I thought I would be. But I see that it is a need for people to stand up. I used to say in some of our speeches and events that Dr. King once said, our lives begin to end the day we become silent about the things that matter. And that is so true. So it's sort of like a continuation of something that should not have to be done, but should have been done years and years and years ago. But now it just sort of taking life for a lot of our young folks that it haven't done on yet.
What would you say to the youth or people who would want to get involved in these movements in fighting for environmental justice or for Black lives? What recommendations would you give?
Well, I would say to them, you're in for a big fight, a long fight. Patience is a virtue. Consistency is a virtue. We have to keep going and keep going. Keep one thing in mind, or keep many good things in mind. I quoted something that Dr. King once said before, and I say this to them, that we are not in this situation because of bad people. We're in this situation because the good people will not stand up. So you stand and you keep standing and not let anyone discourage you of your rights. That quote also comes from Dr.